Travel addiction is real. After trying it once, you want to do it again and again. We did not stay at home for long, and after the first expedition, soon enough we went for the second one. I love life. Let's go. We were really interested in the theme of the expedition. We have long wanted to know better what exactly is the Silk Road. What does this phrase mean for completely different people? We have a long road ahead and a lot of time to figure it out. If the Silk Road passed through our territory, we need to talk about it. It has historical value. Our host recalls the past horse expedition through the mountain with a special warmth. In the previous episode, we said goodbye to Kazakhstan, Switzerland, Kolsai and Kayindi. What's next? Aziza definitely knows. Our journey continues, and with the expedition called the Silk Road, Road of Dialogue, we will visit Big Almaty Lake, Medeo, Charin Canyon, and then we'll go to Issyk-Kul, then to Zhati Oguz Gorge and Skaska Canyon. Then we will see ancient settlements in the vicinity of Taraz and Turkestan, and then we will enjoy the architecture of Samarkand and Tashkent. Yes, it is a long way, but it's worth it. Wish us good luck. Today we begin our trip along the Silk Road with a traditional press conference at the Vizit Almaty tourist hub. Such events are often held here to develop tourism not only in Almaty region but also throughout Kazakhstan.
В принципе, это хорошая площадка для различных мероприятий.
Well, this is a good platform for various events, a good platform for foreigners. They can come here, ask various questions regarding travel in the city of Almaty and in Almaty region. There are different booklets in Russian, Kazakh, English, where tourists can see information on attractions. Here in Vizit Almaty right now, the upcoming expedition is being discussed, as well as how the revival of the Silk Road routes can positively affect the entire tourism industry of neighboring countries, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan. The Great Silk Road is the general name for a large ramified system of caravan roads. Although the routes of the Silk Road have changed, there are two main routes connecting the east and the west. The southern road began in northern China and went through Central Asia to the Middle East and northern India. The northern road originated in the same place and led through the Pamir and the Aral Sea to the lower Volga and to the Black Sea basin. There were several connecting and intermediate routes between the southern and northern roads. From the middle of the 2nd century BC, Silk, or as it was also called, the Jade Route, became a transcontinental highway, a kind of brand. We asked the famous traveler what he thinks about the Silk Road brand and its restart in recent times.
Это хорошая возможность вот тем странам, Узбекистану, Кыргызстану, Kazakhstan.
It is a good opportunity for countries such as Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan to create a product that will be in demand around the world and popularize Central Asia. This is a cool brand that we must use. Now there are many different events, including a rally which is held annually.
который проводится ежегодно.
The Silkway Rally is an international rally marathon which has been held since 2009 in Russia, and in 2016, 2017 Kazakhstan and China joined the rally. It is symbolic that in 2017 athletes finished in the ancient Chinese city of Xi'an, which is historically the starting point of the Silk Road. The length of the route to date has broken the Paris-Dakar rally record and amounted to about 11,000 kilometers. The Silk Rally is now one of the most prestigious events in the world of motorsport. In these races, motorcycles, SUVs and trucks compete in 3 categories. Our upcoming expedition is no worse than the rally in terms of route complexity. We will go through special off-road sections, mountain sections at an altitude of about 3,000 meters above sea level, and of course highways. Only our goal is not to get there as quickly as possible, but to make an objective opinion about the route and then share it with you. Having left the tourist hub, we decided to re-energize. And what gives a powerful surge of energy if not pure spring water? It is decided we keep the path to the Prosveshchenets. The famous spring is located on Gornaya Street, right on the road to Medeu. It will not be difficult to get water there at any time of the year and during any weather due to the fact that the spring is ennobled. We must use that chance to get that life-giving water. In the Almaty Mountains, you will never die of thirst because there are so many springs. This one, for example, is so ennobled. It can be reached by the bus number 12. If you have a car, get here by car. I have a bottle, and now I will fill it with this water. By the way, dear housewives, with this water you can forget about the kettle scum, so get some water. And you will be happy. Problems with the kidneys, the endocrine system and generally not feeling well, look at water that you drink. Since a human consists of water, for 80% its quality better be at the highest level. We do not know how the water in large bottles is filtered, but we can take care of this matter by ourselves and get mountain water. It has 2 times higher levels of fluoride, so it is considered mineral. But the lack of scum, which Aziza talks about, is explained by the fact that there are no salts of calcium and magnesium in spring water. I am a very modest girl. I took such a small bottle. But people come here with huge bottles and really drink this water because it is super clean and super tasty. Excellent water, by the way. You can sell it. There are at least 4 famous mountain springs around Almaty. After Prosveshchenets, there is a spring at the beginning of the trail to Kokjailan. From Gornaya Street, you will need to turn right and walk up to the end of the asphalt road. 10 kilometers from the city in the tract, Alma-Arasan, there is a spring near the stop Olen, which means deer. You can get there by bus number 28. Another place with delicious water is located on the road to Big Almaty Lake. The spring is well hidden on the side of the mountain, but a constant crowd of people gives out its location. Spring water is good, but you need to know the rule. Experts recommend drinking water from spring only after boiling, since it does not comply with state standards of bacteriological indicators. So in the battle between spring water and filtered one, there is no winner. The truth is somewhere in between. Medeu is easily accessible from the city by the bus number 12, which was mentioned by Aziza. If you are driving a car like us, then go to Dostik Avenue from the area of the city in which you are located. Follow along the avenue towards the mountains. In the second half of the route, the road will narrow to a 2-lane. The quality of the road to Medeu is very good. You can drive at a speed of 60 km per hour. During the trip, you might want to stop and enjoy the picturesque scenery inside the gorge. Before leaving, do not forget to check the car. It must be ready for sharp climbs and descents along the mountain road. The most appropriate word to describe Medeu is the most. It is the largest, the highest, the most famous. By the way, in 2014, they set a record here and got into the Guinness Book of Records because 500 people were skating at the same time. I would also skate, but it is summer, the rink is closed. It is the highest. Medeu is located at the altitude of 1,691 meters above sea level. The complex occupies the territory in the Medeu tract on the northern slope of the Joly ski ridge, in the cozy valley of the Malaya Almatinka River, which belongs to the Ili River basin. The height of the mountains is amazing. A tourist from Japan especially admired it and compared the low mountain of Fuji with our Tian Shan peaks. The mountain in Japan is quite small, like the Mount Fuji, 3,000 meters, but this is 5,000. That's quite bigger than Japan. For Japanese, Kazakhstan is a new country because not so many Japanese visit Kazakhstan for the vacation. But when I come here, I realize it is a beautiful, amazing country. So the fate of this giant is fascinating. Perhaps we will tell you. The Medeu tract and then the mountain complex is named after the head of the volost of one of the nearby villages, Medeu Pusurmanov. Medeu was an influential and respected man. He helped young people get an education, supported the poets Shymbulak and Shymbulak, planted trees around Almaty, participated in the construction of a dam on Lake Pervomaysk, and supported those who suffered after the devastating earthquake of 1911. After the death of Pusurmanov, a forest school was organized in his house and in 1920 a kumis treatment center. With the help of Fumanov, who was then the local commissar, the gorge began to bear the name of Medeu. But the ring construction at this place started only in 1949. At first it was just a rink with natural ice. In 1970 it was decided to build a high mountain complex here. 1,300 people worked in the construction of a sports complex. Medeu had one of the largest artificial ice fields in the world. It is 10,500 square meters. The skating rink was opened in 1972 and became one of the symbols of Kazakhstan, having hosted the World, European and USSR Championships in hockey and speed skating in a period of 20 years. Medeu is such a business card of your city that everyone knows about. When I was a little boy in school, Medeu's photos were in all history and geography textbooks. In general, everyone knew about Medeu. Therefore, it is wrong to visit Almaty and not to visit Medeu. So here I am. During the Soviet times, Medeu was known as the rackets factory. That's because of the special so-called fast ice. People say it is created with the use of clean mountain water, and that's its main secret. The system of artificial ice freezing on Medeu has no analogues all over the world and allows maintaining the ice surface of the ice rink for 8 months a year. The 2011 Asian Games returned all investments. Kazakhstan broke the record by winning 32 golden medals and 17 medals in the overall standings. As we went deep into the history of Medeu, Aziza climbed up the so-called health ladder. Apparently, we also have to.
838, 839, 840, 841, 842. Ура! Ребята, одна из
Friends, one of the attractions of Medeu is the Ladder of Health, which is already about 40 years old. It is old. And this year, funds were allocated to install new railings and tiles between the spans, so let's go and see what's already have been done.
Посмотрим, что уже успели сделать. Итак, что у нас есть, что мы имеем? Да, так сказать,
So what do we
у нас
have?
есть, перила для взрослых.
We have a railing for adults and for children.
Не знаю, правда, мой сын вряд ли бы
I don't know, though my son would hardly have gone here. He does not walk even 3 meters at home.
Сами,
But it doesn't matter. These stairs have not changed much. That's a tribute to tradition, so to speak. Where am I going again? I do not want to walk anymore. Coniferous trees, interspersed with deciduous trees and shrubs, grow on the slopes of the mountains around the rink. These places have a very mild climate. The average temperature in January is only -5 degrees Celsius. Just don't tell anyone from northern Kazakhstan about this. It will upset them terribly. Although we met a tourist from Pavlodar, a very positive girl. She went all the way up the stairs of health and kept a good mood. I wonder how many steps she counted.
Если честно, я после 100 уже все. Дальше я не считала.
To be honest, I did not count after 100. I came from Pavlodar to rest. It was a quick decision.
Я думала, не поднимусь.
Well, I thought I would never reach the top because I have nothing to do with sports, but I did it. It is very beautiful here. I'm satisfied. We have such beautiful places, so you can get great vacation without spending a lot of money.
Такие деньги можно не тратя отдохнуть у нас.
After the expedition, we too can confidently say that nature here is no worse than somewhere abroad. Medeo has a beautiful observation deck with insanely beautiful views.
Все это красивейшее.
All this beautiful panorama can be seen through such an apparatus. People call it binoculars for tourists. So come, and by the way, do not forget to take a photo because we have the same contest. Just upload your cool photo with the hashtag Across Central Asia. Take the same photo as me and win cool prizes.
Эти классные призы.
I recommend my friends to visit Almaty, Kazakhstan, and try Kazakh food, horse meat, and many delicious dishes, and also see this mountain with snow. We took photos, breathed the fresh air, but the wonders of Medeu do not end there. We were told that in a 15-minute walk from this sports complex, there is an underground church, a mysterious place where pilgrims have been going for many years.
Для любителей мистики тут тоже есть чем
There is
заняться.
also something here for lovers of mysticism. Here, not far from Medeu, they say there is an underground church. Finding it is easy enough, but I'm a little afraid to go there. If you go towards the ski resort, here on the Moknatka hill there is a sharp turn to the left.
Есть резкий поворот налево. Налево. Вот.
Turn there and go into the depth of the forest towards the city. Of course, I know everything theoretically, but I won't go there. I'm afraid.
Туда не пойду, я боюсь.
Aziza remained in the car, but we still went in search of a monastery. The place was hard to reach. To get there, you need to go through a small spruce grove. Tall trees let in a little light, causing twilight. Traces of wax, hammered nails, and signs scratched on the bark are visible on the approaches to the church. I would like to turn back and run away, but Aziza will laugh at us, so we continue. This church was built by two monks, Seraphim and Theognostus, in the 30s of the last century, when they escaped from persecution of the authorities. Under a huge spruce, they dug a cave in which they settled. This church was popular among the residents of Verny. They say that so many people came here that they all could not fit inside. Now the land has partially collapsed because only 2 niches formed by the roots of huge spruces left of the cave. Pilgrims bring here icons, border cross. Pilgrims bring here icons, border crosses, leave coins. There is a belief that a left coin is a contribution for saints for their prayers. You ask, why is everyone considering this place mysterious? All because in 2012 there was a big fire on Mount Mognatka. 21 hectares of forest were destroyed. However, the place where the cave was located was untouched by fire, although everything around was destroyed. After that, you believe in mysticism. We even left coins just in case. We forgot to talk about another way to get to Medeu. This is a funicular, but from there you must definitely go up the gondola road to the Shambhala Ski Resort. Drinking coffee at the altitude of 3,200 meters above sea level in the entire post-Soviet space, such a pleasure is available only in Almaty. The mountain resort is a favorite place for active recreation for Almaty residents and guests of the city. It's so cool that we live here in Kazakhstan. We have mountains nearby. And if you live nearby, you are probably 100% snowboarding or skiing. This story is also about me. I have been boarding for 15 years probably. I started in our mountains, in Shymbulak, in Almaty. The resort was founded in 1954. Since the mid-50s, Shymbulak has been a training base for Soviet skiers, and championships of the USSR and Kazakhstan were held on its slopes. And it is worth noting that moving of one skier from Siberia to Kazakhstan was a great luck for Shymbulak. 11 times champion of the USSR, master of sports, honored trainer of the USSR Alexandra Artemenko became a symbol of Kazakhstan skiing. Among the first Kazakh athletes, Artemenko participated in the 1956 Winter Olympics in Cortina d'Ampezzo in Italy. In the 90s, skiing at Shymbulak fell into decay. For more than 10 years, there have not been competitions. In 1997, 2 modern 2-seater chair roads were launched. And in 2004, another 4-seater one. Every year since 2004, in early February, skiers compete in Shymbulak for Alexandra Artemenko Prize. Now Shymbulak takes the second place in the 10 best mountain resorts of the CIS countries. Holidays in Shymbulak are not cheap, but the service and comfort are worth it. The episode turned out to be very exciting. Let's take a breath and recall what we learned today. We plunged into the history of the Silk Road and felt the dust of Silkway rally roads. Met philanthropist Medeu Pusurmanov and counted the steps on the health ladder. Mystical stories about the underground church and the dashing descents of Shymbulak were left for dessert. We will continue our way to Big Almaty Lake. The thing that beckons all tourists who have arrived in Almaty. Follow us using the hashtag across Central Asia. It's interesting and fun.